That was the most scariest moment of my life because things that you don't believe in, and then when you see them with your own eyes and you experience that, it just opens up a whole can of worms, and you get more intrigued and stuff. And then,
Yeah.
as I've gotten older, I've learned to accept it and realize that they're not there to harm me. They're here to teach me and help me learn and grow. Hello, welcome to Conversations with Neuvias. My name is Carol. Today we have the lovely Marge
Hello.
and, of course, the lovely Lynn.
Hi.
Yay.
Hey, welcome everyone who is enjoying our podcast lately. Today is a fun one. We are talking about ghost stories because
It's October.
we have October, Halloween, popular around the holidays. So yeah, Halloween has become very, very huge now, and it's like almost Christmas time now. You see,
Yeah,
yeah, it's gotten so bumped up. So yeah, so we thought this would be a good one to start off with.
absolutely.
So I guess what we could do first is explain what exactly are ghost stories. I mean, they involve the supernatural, typically featuring ghosts, spirits, haunted locations. It instills, of course, fear in people, and of course, afterlife, and of course, just vibing into the unknown.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of funny because most people have some sort of a ghost story in their past, like some experience they've had that they can't quite explain or not sure what it was. Was it an angel? Was it a ghost? Was it just a spirit? What happened here? And I think it's kind of fun to go around and talk about those stories.
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, it's been tradition. It's folklore. It's carried on, and everybody. I'm like you, Marge, has a story. I'm sure Lynn, you have some fun stories that you could probably share with us. But yeah, so I don't know, Marge, if you'd like to get started with your ghost story, and then we could just intervene, or as we go.
Yeah, let's just chat. Let's just
Okay.
chat. We'll just try and talk about the experiences that we've had. And I've had quite a few that were not verbal but
Uh-huh.
visual ghost stories. So at
Okay.
one point I was at a friend of mine's in New Jersey, and it was the middle of the night, and I'm sitting in their dining room, and this farmer man appeared in the corner of the dining room, and he just stood there, and he's in his flannel shirt and a hat, a farmer hat, and with the suspenders on, right? And I
All
looked
right.
up and I was like, wow, who's that? But he didn't scare me. It wasn't a bad feeling. He was just there, and he smiled and kind of tilted his head and dissipated. Another time when I lived in Germany, we were driving down the road, and there was an archway on the side of the road that I'd never seen there before, and an older lady holding a basket of flowers. And I says, "What was that?" And I turned around to look, and it wasn't there. So those kinds of things kind of make it go, "Ooh, what was I seeing? Was that just an energy signature that was left there? Was it a ghost that was visiting, just saying hi? Who knows?"
Yeah. Dang.
Have
See
you had
that?
stuff like that happen to you too?
I know with mine, I, I always feel like unexplained noises kind of happen with me. Sometimes the visual perception that I thought I saw something, but nothing's there, and so, I've seen apparitions, with different years of my life, and so temperature changes, it starts getting cold all of a sudden, and I mean, of course, the lighting in here, my lighting
Yeah.
goes off and on continuously. It flickers, and I've just gotten to the point where I've just gotten used to that. So, of course, electrical malfunctions happen all the time. So, those are just some stories that I can
Spiritual.
tell you that, yeah, that's kind of been through with what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, how about you, Lynn? Do you have anything that you've experienced?
Yeah, actually, when I was younger, I used to stay in my grandmother's old house, and late at night, I would hear, footsteps and faint whispers, like someone softly calling my name.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, at first it scared me, but over time, I felt it wasn't, something dark.
Mhm.
It was like it was more like an echo of love, like a soul still watching over us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. That's very nice.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a story that my sister told me many, 40 years ago. And they were living in a house in Missouri. And she would put her little son to bed. He was like 2 or 3 at the time. She'd put him to bed. And a short while later, he's in there laughing and talking and laughing and talking and laughing and talking. And she'd go in and, you need to go to sleep. And he'd be upset with her. Why did you make the man leave? She goes, what man? He says he went out the door. And then she's pointing to a wall. There's no door there now. And months later, they went up to the apartment that was, they were like a 2-story house, but they were only renting the bottom. And they went up to the upstairs apartment to see what it was like. And she would see the doorknob move and she would hear people walking up there. So they went up there to investigate and they walked up there with her son. And there's a picture on the wall and he goes, that's my friend. That's my friend. That picture, that's the man. And she's like, what do you mean? That's the man that sits with me at night. So the old man that had lived upstairs had passed away. And I guess he liked hanging out with the little guy. So he would sit and talk with him in the evenings.
Mhm.
It was pretty cool.
That is interesting. I was going to tell you, I know a lot of ghost stories reflect on folklore traditions and stuff like that, Marge. And I know with my family, I think there was one time I was in the drive-thru with my aunt, and this is one of my stories. And I was ordering my coffee like normal. We were gonna go run some errands, and I had picked my aunt up, and she's a little bit lot older than me, so she knows about folklore and all this. Anyway, I ordered coffee, and then when I turned around to ask her what she wanted, she said my whole persona resembled a skeleton. And
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, and from that tradition, I think it looked like it's called the death angel is what they call the spirit. It's death angel, and so it scared her. She said, because I when I looked around to turn over, looked her, she was just like pale white and just scared out of it. And it freaked her out so
wow.
much, and so different cultures have these different beliefs, and so in that instance, she was like, she feared that somebody had like put a ritual or some type of something
Hex.
on me, and so and those are just whether you believe that or not. Some people don't believe in traditions like that. So anyway, what I did is the Hispanic part of me went and got a cleansing. My aunt knew people got a cleansing, which is a ritual that people do, and so that's kind of what happened there with that. So
That's interesting.
yeah,
Okay.
so but it scared her. So
I'll bet.
yeah.
Yeah, it would.
I don't know if I froze, but my computer is frozen a little bit. But anyway,
Nope.
I'm still here. Okay, perfect.
We couldn't tell.
Okay, it's weird. I was telling that story, it felt like my face just kind of froze for a
Oh,
second.
that's funny.
Oh my God, yeah. So anyway, yeah, so those are just kind of some traditions that I know being in the Mexican cultural or the Hispanic culture, I'm sorry, the Hispanic cultural traditions that, they deal with the Llorona, which is the crying woman, and there's folklore behind that. The La Chusa, which is an old owl tradition, which has been talked about over. And I sometimes think they tell you as a kid this because they want to scare you. You better go to bed or
Yeah,
something with like Llorona's gonna or something scary. The boogeyman's gonna get you, and so
right.
Yeah, so those are just
That'll let you sleep nicely and soundly, right? There won't be any monsters under the bed.
Yeah, just don't dream about it.
yeah, and so yeah, but that's what they used to tell us when we were growing up. So anyway,
We didn't get stuff like that. My grandmother used to play tricks on us. She played tricks on us all the time, and she would talk about we would want to go into her basement. The house that my mother grew up in
hmm
was built by my great grandfather in the 1700s. So it was a beautiful old Victorian home. And they had a cellar, not a basement, a cellar that
hmm
you would go into where the boiler was. But if you open the door to the cellar and you look down, you see this little red light. Well, it was the pilot light. But grandma would tell you it's the eye of red hot chili pepper. He's a dragon and he will burn you.
oh my
Don't go in the basement. So funny.
oh my gosh. What about you, Lynn? Do you have any cool stories?
Yeah, actually, um, there was one time where um actually I grew up with near my grandmother's house, and
Oh,
Oh, we lost her. I guess grandma didn't want the story.
I was oh.
Hopefully she'll come back. Hopefully.
Yeah. Dang. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully we can wait till she
Yeah.
comes back with that lovely story. So,
Yeah.
but
My
yeah.
my biggest story is actually from the 80s. A
Mhm.
boyfriend of mine um, had passed on, and 3 days after he passed, I was driving down the road and felt his presence
Right.
in the back seat of my car. My best friend sitting next to me. We're just kind of driving, and I says, "Monty's here." Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said his name, but nobody knows who he is. Anyway, and the song "Welcome Back, Cotter," the theme for "Welcome Back, Cotter" was on the radio. Never heard it on the radio before or since, but it was on right then. And and he was the one that really kind of helped me understand when you pass on, it doesn't matter how
hmm
you get the chance to stay if you want to stay and help some people through some things. He talked to me for months, literally months, and I had his dog for a while, and I had friends come over to the house, and the dog would be like, "No, you're not coming in here. Get away from her," kind of thing. And one of the one of the friends came in the house. He goes, "Who's in that dog?" And my friend looks at me. She goes, "Did you tell anybody else about him staying around?" And I said, "No, I didn't tell anybody else." She goes, "Well, he knows. He could tell. That's not the dog's behavior. That's a human behavior impacting the dog." In the long run, at the end,
hmm
um, there was one of those little ghost experiences during that time where I was sitting at a diner with my friend, the same friend who's always with me. You know, you are when you're a teenager, right? Late
Right.
teens. And so we're sitting at a diner and just having some coffee and talking. And she looks at me like this. She looks startled. She goes, "What did you say?" I said, "I didn't say anything. I was drinking my coffee." She says, "No." She says, "Your eyes changed and your voice changed. And you said, had I known what this would do to everybody, I never would have myself." And she was scared. She was so scared. I says, "I did not say that." She goes, "You did. But your eyes changed. Everything about you changed. Kind of like what your aunt saw, probably just a little
Yeah.
shift in the imagery." And it
Right.
kind of freaked her out.
Oh my God.
But it really helped me and a bunch of other people through that grieving process where you understand they're not really gone. They've just shifted to a new place,
hmm
you know? It's interesting. He still visits once in a while,
hmm
but for the most part, he's off doing whatever he's doing
Yeah.
on the other side.
Yeah. What about you, Elaine? Thanks for coming back. You were talking
Yes.
about your grandmother,
yeah,
and then that's as good as
yeah,
you got.
Yeah, so in my grandmother's house, there was this one evening when the whole family gathered in the living room. Suddenly, a soft scent of, sampaguita. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It's a flower in the Philippines. It's called sampaguita. That sampaguita scent filled the air with its
Ah,
sweet, familiar, and calming. And my grandmother smiled and said, "She's here again." So she said it was the scent her mother wore every day before she passed.
Mhm.
oh, that's beautiful. That's so nice.
Yeah, that's such a beautiful story. That's also a good way to remember people through scent because
Yeah.
it's funny you should mention that. But I've had a similar encounter with that. I used to always smell roses, like and I was nowhere near roses. I was not even in a place where there was roses, but the scent of roses always comes through, and I firmly believe that sometimes it's Mother Mary's scent is roses. And
Uh-huh.
sometimes when the energies are shifting and stuff, I can smell roses. And then of course I ask people, "Are you smell that?" They're like, "What are you talking about?" Like, I don't
Yeah.
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, just that's just how I perceive that. So, what were you
That's
gonna say, Marge?
oh, there's just so many times that you'll smell things like you said that
Mhm.
it's like that reminds me of this person, that reminds me of that person, and you may not realize that that probably is that person. And just reminding you, even if it's somebody else wearing that perfume, they were led to you
Yeah.
instead of just a coincidence doesn't exist for me.
Yeah, no, I agree. I was gonna say too, so for people who probably have never experienced or never really opened their eyes to ghost in general, didn't you I'm sure everybody has stories to say, but there's ways that you can not really open yourself up, but if you're well, you have to have an open mind. I guess you have to have an open mind to even acknowledge what spirit is or what angels are or spirit entities and so forth. And you can get a good vibe whether one is good or one is not good at all. And
Yeah.
so I know with my experiences learning spirituality, it just opened a whole possible spiritual presence that I didn't even know existed. And so at first, I will tell you though, it was very, very scary because you don't know what's going on. You don't know what you're looking at. You don't know what's going on. And I think with the book that we did in Nuvias, I had done my story, and Marge knows this, that when I first got into spirituality and learning tarot and all that. And let me tell you, that was the most scariest moment of my life because things that you don't believe in, and then when you see them with your own eyes and you experience that, it just opens up a whole can of worms, and you get more intrigued and stuff. And then
Yeah.
as I've gotten older, I've learned to accept it and realize that that's not they're not there to harm me. They're here to teach me and help me learn and grow. So,
Right.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
sometimes the most innocuous stuff can feel scary because you're not ready for it. You're not familiar with it. It's not something that's in your belief system.
no, no,
Yeah.
not at all. Were you gonna say something, Lynn?
Yeah, so when we like open our minds and hearts, we begin to notice that we're never truly alone. So those spirits or angels often communicate in, quiet ways like a flicker of light, those scent, or a song that plays at just the right moment. So
Mhm.
yeah, they don't need to appear before
Visually.
us to be real.
Mhm.
Right.
So their presence is felt through those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the more you see them and acknowledge them and say thank you for coming, the more you'll get to experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody appreciates a little appreciation.
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny that you can sometimes see things through photography, Sometimes orbs will appear, or a ball of light out of the blue, and you don't even catch it unless you're taking a picture or something.
Yeah.
I can tell you too, with the phones being so advanced now, you can download those ghost apps, and you would just be surprised at what you kind of get. People think, "Oh my God, it's fake, it's fake." No, but I have downloaded a couple of ghost apps because I do. I have gone investigating, paranormal investigating, and sometimes you catch the funniest things. I could tell you a quick story that I remember. I was at a graveyard with a friend, and we were hiking, but we ended up at a graveyard. Anyways, I got my ghost app out, and I just it was an old rundown poor cemetery. It just was not taken care of at all, and I put my meter out. Anyways, long story short, you could see I had put some music on, and there was a ghost in the green. It was like a stick figure of a ghost. She was in green. She was loving the music. She was just dancing and to
Dancing.
the tone and to the beat of the music. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, she loves the music."
That's cool.
But I thought that was interesting. So that's just another way, that you can start possibly opening yourself up to those different kinds of presence.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's face it, a lot of people that are listening to us are a little more open than not, or they wouldn't be probably listening to the podcast. But I and I think though that there are a lot of people that are concerned about what they're seeing,
Yes.
and there's nothing to be afraid of.
Mhm.
Nothing.
I know right now the biggest one is aliens. People have been seeing aliens like there is no tomorrow.
Yep. Well, it's in the consciousness of the planet. Everybody's talking about it all over the place. They
Yeah.
have been for almost 70 years, 100 years. It's just getting more and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes. Yes. And the more that people open and are accepting that, the more that they're going to show themselves. And so,
Hmm.
you know, there's a lot of just different things out there that we don't even know. The ocean hasn't even been, open. That's just one out there that I'm throwing because there's so much exploration there that we just can't even get to. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true.
Yeah. So,
That's the things that you can't see, that just because you can't see them doesn't mean they're not there.
no, no. And 9 times out of 10, it's you also trusting that gut feeling. Like if you're sensing somebody looking at you, or your hair starts raising up for no reason at all, and you start getting this.
Yeah,
That's
what's going
usually,
on?
yeah, that's usually them trying to get your vibe for your attention, or letting you know, hey, my presence is here. Sometimes they do. If you're here, flicker a light, or if you're here, show me you're here, and they'll show you. 9 times out of 10, they will show you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
So
It's just like on some of the ghost stories that they have on television. They'll say, make a noise, make a knock or something. And you can ask that.
yes. Yeah, it didn't have to be something crazy,
Yeah.
like ridiculously crazy.
Without the creepy music, it's not near as scary.
I know, yeah, but it's just, everybody has their personal experience of when they're encountering a
Yeah.
ghost or a spiritual entity or something. So, but
Yeah.
you know, it's depends on the individual's belief of is this really happening to me, or is this really not, or am I not experienced this correctly, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Am I going crazy?
Yeah, so it's just,
Do your animals react to different things that you can't see? Have you seen that?
oh yeah, my dogs will be looking up at sometimes the corner of the room, and I'm like, "What are you looking at?" And there's nothing there, and then sometimes they will growl too. It just depends, and so I know when they're growling, I'm immediately just either holy watering or saging, because I'm like, nope,
Yep.
I don't want that spirit around. If the dogs are not, I trust my dogs, so
If dogs aren't loving it, I'm not either.
I'm me either. So, but I've heard cats are the best ones to see between the veils. Like, if you
Yeah.
don't own a cat, that is probably the best thing that you can do to see between the veils. They see a lot more than dogs do. Dogs can see the energy, but I think cats are more susceptible to the
I think they
energy.
feel it more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they're completely focused, so they don't overthink like we do. So they just feel.
Yeah.
Well,
So.
keep in mind, cats are okay, because I'm a cat person. In case y'all didn't know, I'm a cat person. And so cats are both predator and prey. So
Mm-mm.
their prey side is very alert for things that could be dangerous, kind of like humans.
Mhm.
Humans are predator and prey too, if you think about it. So it's just a little different mindset. And we will see our cats, they'll just stop and they'll both look in the same direction. Now that's weird. That's
Yeah.
a little unnerving when it first starts happening. It's like both cats turn and look someplace there's nothing going on. Something's going on over there. You
Yeah.
know there is.
Yeah, I think cats are just, I'm like you. I'm an animal person just in general. I will take anything home that I can get my hands on or crosses my path, Where'd you find that cow? He's walking. Anyways, I think Marge too with that. I don't know if you remember y'all have ever seen the movie on my Constantine, where he gets the cat and he puts his feet in the water and he's like, "Okay, show me what you got," to the cat. And of course, the cat took him to a whole different realm because of the energies that were being exchanged there. And so that I find that interesting because a movie you would not think like, "What? Come on, it's just a cat." But in
They know.
reality, yeah, that in reality, that's how it cats can see being the internal and external, I guess you could say.
Yeah. We'll have to do a video. We'll have to do a recording and do some research on the cats and how they're seen spiritually in different parts of the world. Because I know, in ancient Egypt they were big. Turkey, they're huge.
Hmm.
China, they're huge. It's interesting how different cultures
Oh my God, yeah.
look at them.
Hmm. I know. Honestly, we're on this subject of cats too, but I would love to own a raven or a crow because those,
They're
oh my
so
God, they're
amazing.
so smart.
You just have to find one. They'll adopt you if you treat them right.
Oh, it's hard to find them here in Texas. If you see them for a hot second, that you've seen it for a hot second. You see more hawks than anything, but that will probably have to be a whole different podcast.
We'll go into that one too.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have anything else to add to this fun conversation today. March, you have anything else you would like to add?
I would just like to ask any of the viewers that if you have a ghost story you want to share, you can either come onto the podcast and share it or just send something down in the comments and we'll share it with the rest of the audience. I'd love to hear other people's stories.
Absolutely. What about you, Lynn? Do you have anything you would like to add?
No. Actually, I just just want to say that um those ghosts or spirits or angels or even energies and signs, um it reminds us of one thing, that life doesn't end where our eyes stop seeing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Bravo.
well said.
Absolutely.
Yes, well said. Well, thank y'all for joining us. This has definitely been a good podcast, and I'm pretty sure we could have probably continued into another couple of hours because just telling ghost stories and sitting, outside in the fire and just enjoying those moments are just simply breathtaking.
Yes.
Yeah, but my name is Carol. Come and visit us at www.neuvias.com and
And I March. Don't forget to like and subscribe and add any comments about your ghosts or spirit encounters you've had.
absolutely. Till next time, we love you and have a beautiful night. Good morning, wherever you're at in this world.
Love y'all.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.